Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're on our way to 6,000 subscribers. I hope you've had a fantastic day. One day away from the return of Premier League football. Luton versus Chelsea tomorrow night. And of course, we're against Fulham on Saturday. Lots to get into today, mainly positive news, which is always nice. And I do have to be done by 5:30. I'm back on the football terrace again tonight at 6 o'clock. So if you want to tune in for that, the football terrace, I will be there. But it's good to see you in the chat. VV Vlad, Drakar, deep sleep, relax with nature. Alex Johnson, Youngstar, Joshua, Nathan, good to see you all. And VV Vlad says, Jesus back, Salah off, we're so back. Havertz is going to be unleashed. Let's go. And we will talk a bit about other transfer news today. The big one that Salah really might be off to Saudi Arabia. It wasn't a full crash. It wasn't a full crash. We're alive. We're back. We're back. It wasn't a full crash. Don't worry. The PC didn't die. But look, no, it got me thinking. Love you on the Big Six. I appreciate that, Nathan. Thank you. Nice early crash to set the mood. Yeah, look. You've got to set the tone. You've got to set the tone. But no. What was I saying? Yeah, look, I think back on the times where Arsenal would lose our top players, where you'd be in a transfer window and people would be coming in for our Mo Salah, for Van Persie or Fabregas or whoever. And we're past that. Look at all of Saka, Saliba, Martinelli, all signing new contracts. And look, Liverpool are in a lot of trouble if Mohamed Salah leaves this window. But anyway, we'll talk about Arsenal first. Jesus back, Rory off, literally. 30 more super chats from Aaron until you can get a new PC. Look, we'll get there. We'll get there. But that's the headline is Jesus is back. Now, he's back in training. That doesn't mean he's going to be straight back into action. He's certainly, I really don't think he'll be in the squad for Fulham. The aim is that he's in the squad for Manchester United. And that would be massive. If we could get him in the squad for the United game, that would be huge. Ideally, if we could get him in the starting lineup for the United game, that'd be ideal. I'm actually just Googling our fixtures. So we've got Fulham at home this weekend, then United at home the weekend after, and then it's the international break. So if we can get him into the United game, fantastic. If not, effectively he can have another 2 weeks of rest before we play Everton on the 16th of September. And I'd rather not rush him back if we don't have to, but it would be a big bonus to have him. In that game. Ross Lawman says, hey bro, late, hope haven't kissed much. No, we haven't kissed anyone yet. The PC didn't crash, it nearly crashed. And but other than that, we were just talking a bit about Mohamed Salah and a bit about Jesus. But Jesus is back in training, and that's really good news. But the crazy thing is, and this kind of goes to show how far our depth has come, it's not like Jesus has to be straight back into the starting lineup when we've really missed him. And that's just so good. That's just so good. And, if he is on the bench for Fulham, who does he replace? You've then got another, quality player that's going to have to drop out of the squad as we bring Jesus back in. So it's quite interesting. Opinions on Norway? I've never been. We're planning to go to Norway quite soon. I love Vikings, so I want to go to Norway. But it seems like a lovely place. I hope Diniz isn't going to call him to the Brazil team for the internationals. He won't. Arsenal wouldn't let him go. In fact, I think the squad's already out and Jesus isn't in it. I'm pretty sure. So that's not a problem. On to following Balogun. Sky Sports Darmesh today reporting Monaco are close to a verbal agreement on fee with Arsenal for Balogun. Formal offer to follow ahead of discussing payment terms. So Monaco are leading the way, and potentially, if there isn't a late bid from a West Ham or a Fulham or a Chelsea, the move to Monaco could happen. And do you know what? For the sake of arguments on Twitter, it would be quite a good thing if he's not in the Premier League. because I don't want to see him go and, unless we have good sell-on terms afterwards, I don't want to see him go and flourish in the Premier League for a different club. But if he goes to Ligue 1, even if he gets 25 goals this season in Ligue 1, we can just say, it's a farmers league and we got 50 mil. So that wouldn't be too bad at all. Bench Jesus for the Fulham game and start him over Eddie against United. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the plan. I don't know if he will be... I don't know if he'll be on the bench against Fulham. In all honesty, today was his first training session back. So I'm not sure he'll make it back in time. But we'll see. You can always put him on the bench, and if he needs to come on, he needs to come on. I would give both kidneys to watch Luton slap up Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I would love it. I would love it if Luton get anything out of that game. That would be unbelievable. I hope United sign a midfielder to make the game competitive. Well, I assume you're a United fan. I hope United don't sign a midfielder and we win 5-0. So, and Mason Mount is out for 4 to 6 weeks, so he's definitely not going to be playing. Although I actually genuinely think that could be an advantage to United, because if they were still trying this thing of having a midfield of Casemiro, Mount and Fernandes, it's not going to work. Yeah, the Balogun update is that Monaco are close to a verbal agreement on a fee, and a formal offer is to follow ahead of discussing payment terms. Personal terms agreed in principle already. So it would move quite quickly. They've already agreed personal terms with Balogun, and then they just need to agree on a fee and then a payment schedule for that fee with Arsenal. The beauty of having the depth we have, we don't need to rush Jesus onto the bench. Exactly. It is good. It's very good. I want to talk about PERR SCHUURS. PERR SCHUURS. I'll be honest, had really not heard of him much at all until today. But according to La Stampa, Arsenal are interested in signing PERR SCHUURS as a Timber replacement, likely to cost 40 million euros. Now, a bit about him. He's a 23-year-old Dutch centre-back, plays for Torino at the moment. He's right-footed, 6'3", good injury history. Moved from Ajax to Torino last summer for 9.5 million euros. So I'll be honest, if they're saying he's likely to cost 40 million euros, and he only moved to Torino last summer for 9.5 million euros, and I've not really heard of him, I feel like I should have heard of him for him to go from 9.5 million euros to 40 million euros in one season. He played 30 games, I think, for them last season. And honestly, in terms of how he plays, I don't really know. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I also don't... La Stampa, they have a lot of followers, but I don't know the quality of their journalism. So can't see us spending another 40 million on a defender that's not even guaranteed to be first choice. I don't disagree. And also, not saying that tall people can't be good on the ball, but if he's 6'3", it doesn't seem like a Timber like-for-like replacement in that sense. Good injury history, like that matters when joining Arsenal, I know. But if they've already got a bad injury history before joining Arsenal, then it's an absolute car crash. Would you consider top 4 and no trophies a disappointment or a bad season? It depends. There needs to be a bit more context to it. Like, if we scrape top 4, go out of the group stage of the Champions League, and don't get anywhere in either of the domestic cups, that would be bad. If we're comfortably top 4 and we get to the Champions League final, I think that would be not successful, but it wouldn't be a disappointment as such. Why sign PERR SCHUURS when we already have Jakub Kiwior? Seems like the same profile, just right-footed. Yeah. In fairness, I don't know how similar he is to Kiwior, but it would be a surprising one for me. I don't think it's going to happen in all honesty, but you never know. Never rule it out. But also, the issue with that sort of signing for 40 million euros, that's very similar to what we paid for Timber. So that's not really cover for Timber. That's another defender that next season would be competing with Timber. And I don't know if there's even room in the squad for that. So Max Winfield is just all out, Vlad out. We've not even done Guess the Gooner, but Max is Vlad out. Haven't seen him either, to be fair. No, not me. I'd never heard of him, and that's why I'm not really sure what he's done to warrant a 40 million euro price tag, having only moved from Ajax to Torino last season for for €9.5 million. He's slow and turns like a bus, not good for a high line. There you go. There you go. To be fair, one thing I was thinking actually is if we... Because I think, as much as anything, Timber actually came in as a potential backup to Saliba. And the way that we've been playing with that, the back three, with Saliba as the central centre-back in that back three, I am concerned who plays there if Saliba gets injured. Because I think the only person that's got the recovery pace to do it is Kivior. So I feel like we might need the backup to Saliba might actually be the real issue if Saliba picks up an injury this season. But we will see. Anyway, other news from the Arsenal squad. None of Kieran Tierney, Albert Sambi-Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, Folarin Balogun or Rob Holding are training with the Arsenal squad. All of them have trained separately. So Tierney, Sambi-Lokonga, Tavares, Balogun and Rob Holding, they're not training with the squad. The reason being, they aren't basically going to ever be back in the squad. So when you're training ahead of a match, there's no point having them there. Now, my concern is that there is a name not on that list. Tierney, yeah, fine. Actually, makes me quite sad, but fine. Sambi-Lokonga, fine, going on loan. Tavares, fine. Balogun, fine, he's going. Rob Holding, bit sad, but fine. There's a name I would like to see on that list that is not on that list. It's not even Pepe. It's not even Pepe. Although I'm not sure. Pepe just about got brought back into training, but then apparently him and he's going back out to not being in training. But no, the name is one Cedric Suarez. Where is he? Because he should not be in training with the rest of the team. He's bringing down the level of the rest of the team if he's training with them. What's he doing there? I don't like it. I want to see him gone. Adam Markham says, hi, Rory. Sorry I'm late. What have I missed? Not too much. Balogun is close to a move to Monaco. Gabriel Jesus is back in training. There's a centre-back called PERR SCHUURS that Arsenal are interested in. And lots of players that are set to leave before the end of the window are now training alone. Did you see Rob Holding's show with Timsy? Say what you want about Rob, but he seems like a top lad. Well, that's why I am quite sad about Rob leaving. Look, don't get me wrong. Ability-wise, Rob Holding is not good enough to be in an Arsenal squad. There is no situation where I would want to see him coming off the bench anymore. But he is a very, very, very good presence to have around the dressing room. But also, we used to need that. I felt like there didn't used to be many Rob Holdings in the squad, whereas now we've got loads of Rob Holding characters in the squad, whether it's Declan Rice, whether it's someone like Zinchenko, who's a massive motivator, Gabriel, Ramsdale. There's a lot of them, so I don't think it's as necessary anymore. Did you see the Ferguson link for 2024 potentially? I did. It does sound like Brentford are preparing to let Tony go in January as well, so keep an eye on that one. He'll only have 18 months left on his contract in January, so they will be looking to get as much money as they can for him, so that is an interesting one. And then finally, one little bit of news. Brooke Norton-Cuffy is going out on loan to Millwall. That's according to South London Press. I don't know how good South London Press are, but given that it's Millwall, it seems like their kind of vibe. So, yeah, Millwall are set to sign Brooke Norton-Cuffy on loan. Great loan for him. That's a solid championship club that will be looking to probably get into the playoff spots, and that'll be a good move for him. So I think he's probably got 1 year left of doing the whole loan move thing, and then at that point he'll either break into the squad or he'll move on, which is fine. Arsenal have confirmed he's already gone. There you go. Perfect. Is everyone forgetting El Neni still plays for Arsenal? Yeah, but I don't really know what's going on with El Neni, because he's been in the gym for ages since his injury, but apparently he's still not back on the pitch. So it's just been made official. It's just been made official. There you go. I haven't seen it, but there you go. Good for Brooke Norton-Cuffy. No, I know he had the year-long extension for his injury, but I felt like if he was back from his injury this summer, we could have sold him and actually got a fee for him. Was what I was, because if ultimately there's, again, similar boat to Rob Holding. There's no fixture this year at all where I want to see El Neni. We're beyond that. We've moved past it. And based on that, he's got a year on his contract now. I know he took a massively reduced wage, but why not sell him to, Besiktas or someone like that, Fenerbahce, for a couple of million? El Neni is coaching mostly now. I think he's just going to stay and move to the academy. Fine, but that is fine, but what's the point having a playing contract at that point? He needs to just retire if that's the case. Magnus, no worries. Good to see you. Good to see you. Do you think Norton Cuffy will play first-team football at Arsenal? I wouldn't rule it out. I think he is a good talent. The worry for me is that I think Ruel Walters is better and has a higher ceiling. And another year in a year's time, I'd be looking at integrating Ruel Walters probably before Brooke Norton Cuffy, but we'll see. Getting tired of Besiktas. They were meant to sign El Neni, Pepe, and Holding, and nothing happens. Yeah, it's a weird one. It is a weird one. El Neni is essentially Steve Brown's replacement. Yeah, you're not wrong. Watkins for 38 mil or Tony for 55 mil? Tony for me. Just for that, raw physicality, in all honesty. Can we start Raya for Fulham? We could, but I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't do that. For me, Raya comes in. The first time Raya comes in for me is Carabao Cup. I don't see the need to bring him in to Premier League fixtures at the moment. I think he comes in Carabao Cup. Schürrle is a style of player similar to Hangeland, just better passer, lol. My mate who is a Spezia season ticket holder, so watches Serie A a lot. Okay, I don't want him. If I'm hearing comparisons to Breda Hangeland, but a good passer, no, thank you. You can. We'll move on. The AFC Camden guy on Twitter gave us hope by saying Tony is possible and to keep an eye out. Yeah, AFC Camden's quite looped into various conversations as well. So I would imagine we either get Tony in January or Ferguson next summer. Fulham on paper looks really weak, but they will be up for it. Yeah, they will be up for it, but it's a team that we should beat. It is a team that we should beat at home. Top 3 Arsenal players in our squad. The best 3 Arsenal players in our squad are Saka, Declan Rice, and William Saliba. In terms of all 3 of them, I think are comfortably top 5 in the world for their position. Matt Medias with the £2 super chat. Thank you very much, Matt Medias. All our 4 subs had 100% pass rate, quality bench. Exactly. And that was predominantly defensive players. If you then look at the fact that we didn't even bring on the likes of Trossard, Smith Rowe, Jesus wasn't even in the squad, Fabio Vieira, Ødegaard, I had to pick a 3, right? I had to pick a 3. So fair. I completely understand putting Ødegaard in, but who do you take out? Out of Saka, Saliba, and Declan Rice, who do you take out to put Ødegaard in? It's difficult. What a conundrum for us to have. Recency bias? I don't think it's recency bias to say Declan Rice. I just genuinely think he is that good. I think at the minute Ødegaard over Rice, but I think Rice will grow. Fair enough. No, look. I'm not going to say no to Saka, Ødegaard, and Saliba, not at all. I'd agree it's between Rice and Ødegaard for that 3rd spot. But again, even the fact that players like Martinelli, not getting in the top 3. We have top players that wouldn't get in that top 3 and wouldn't even have a shout for that top 3. You think even back to 4 years ago, where we were at, where the top 3 would be, poor at best. Rory, our next 5 fixtures are hard. The 5 fixtures after Fulham, we have United at home, Everton away, Spurs at home, Bournemouth away, City at home. So yeah. In the next 6 fixtures, we play United, Spurs, and City. But we play all 3 of them at home. So it's not actually that bad, I don't think. I think in reality, Arsenal and City will both expect to get to that fixture on the 8th of October without dropping points. I don't think it's unreasonable for us to expect to beat Fulham at home, to beat United at home, to beat Everton away, who look absolutely awful, to beat Spurs at home, and to beat Bournemouth away. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect us to do that. And likewise, I think City have got a really easy run between now and playing us. So it could well be that we get to the 8th of October and City and Arsenal are both on 21 points at the top of the table, which would be crazy. If we were getting Tony, would we not get him now to get used to the system? No. So I thought that, and that was something that I had said previously. But whilst he is allowed to train between now and January, he's allowed to train between September and January, he's not allowed to train with a squad. So he wouldn't be allowed to train with the squad and learn the system. And look, it may well be that behind closed doors, Arteta's on the blower to Tony going, study these games. But we'll see. Everton away is always dodgy. It is, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. This and honestly, I feel like we were unlucky last time. That when we played Everton away last season, firstly, we came off the back of a really difficult run. We had played Newcastle, Spurs, United, and someone else. Was it Brentford, maybe? But we'd certainly played Newcastle, Spurs, and Man United. And the next game after that was Everton. And it felt like, oh, we've just got through the hard bit. Oh, now we've got an easy game, Everton. And that happened to be the game that they brought in Sean Dyche. And I just think that was a culmination of things that came together and cost us. This season, they look shocking. And we should go away there and not have a problem. In all honesty, they haven't got the Sean Dyche bounce anymore. So yeah, it shouldn't be a difficult away game this season. We played City in the FA Cup before Everton. We might have done, yeah. I can't remember actually, but we definitely had a difficult spell of Premier League fixtures. Tom, good to see you. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path minus the Arsenal part of it, and you have to guess who that Arsenal player is. Fastest person to get it in the YouTube chat gets the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community and the wider footballing community. Get yourselves in there. If you're on TikTok and you want to get involved, the Instagram icon in my bio will send you over there. And subscribe whilst you're there. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel whilst you're on there. It doesn't look like Beast Destroyer is in the chat. So, after 4 consecutive wins of Guess the Gooner and Guess the Non-Gooner, there is a door is open for a new winner. But VV Vlad is here. So, anyway, I digress. Today's Guess the Gooner started their career at SMKN or Cayenne. They went to Marseille, they went to Chelsea, they went to Arsenal, they went to Tottenham, they went to Perth Glory. I realised that I just read out the Arsenal part of it, which was a mistake. Cayenne, Marseille, Chelsea, Tottenham, Perth Glory. Who is it? There is a correct answer. And it is not VV Vlad. It is Young Star. I never know what to call him. I call him Young Star, I think. It's William Gallas. It is William Gallas. I ballsed that up by reading the Arsenal part out of it, which made it easier. So my apologies on that one. But it is William Gallas. Young Star was first. Elijah was second. 13 Webb was third. VV Vlad was fourth. And Mike Jacker was fifth. William Gallas. Remembered for nothing but crying in the middle of the pitch. William Gallas. There you go. And now on to Guess the Non-Gooner. Call him Tarboy. I could call him Tarboy. Young Tar. Okay, it is Young Tar, not Young Star. Young Tar. How long are you streaming for? 5 more minutes. I've got to jump off at 5:30 so that I can eat. And then at 6 o'clock, I'll be on the football terrace for the top 6 show. We'll see if the BTEC League Gunner is there again tonight after his cooking on Twitter. I doubt it. When do you think Ethan Nwaneri starts getting regular squad picks? Carabao Cup. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see Nwaneri and potentially Miles Lewis-Skelly in the Carabao Cup squads. But we'll see. There's no rush. There is no rush. Guess the non-Gooner. I will give you a player who has not and does not play for Arsenal. I'll give you their full career path, and you have to guess who it is. Ross Lawman says, loving all the deluded Chelsea fans saying Enzo is better than Rice. Yeah, it's quite embarrassing. It is quite embarrassing. And then when you ask them why, they go, well, he won the young player at the World Cup. Well done, mate. I mean, it's unbelievable. Genuinely, in my opinion, right, if you have to go back 9 months to an international tournament where actually Argentina played in their 7 games 5 pretty poor teams, and that's how you have to go, he's a better player, I think you've got issues. If you can't refer to any of the last 9 months at Chelsea, there's issues. Nah, it's fine. No like. Good. Saw your beef with Lewis on TikTok. Yeah. I don't mind Lewis in all honesty, but yeah, he was waffling, to be honest. He was waffling. If he hadn't called out my own tweet, I wouldn't have replied to it, but he was using my tweet, so I had to reply. Anyway, guess the non-Gooners started their career at West Ham. They went on loan to Bournemouth. They then went to Leeds, Manchester United, and QPR. So they started at West Ham, went on loan to Bournemouth, went to Leeds, Manchester United, and QPR. Who is the non-Gooner? It's not Lampard. It's not Upton. Jake Madaford has got it correct first. It is indeed Rio Ferdinand. It is Rio Ferdinand. Tom was second. Elijah was third. Ethan Udall was fourth. And JD was fifth. It was Rio Ferdinand, who I saw another clip of just... It always makes me laugh seeing that clip of Zinchenko basically laughing at him for his lack of understanding of football. So... congratulations to Jake Madaford, who got it correct. Congratulations to Young Tar, who got the Guess the Gooner correct. Like the stream. Yeah, drop a like on the stream if you're here. Thank you very much. Didn't realise Rio was on loan at Leeds. No, I didn't say loan at Leeds, did I? I thought I said loan to Bournemouth, and then to Leeds, Manchester United, and QPR. If I did say loan to Leeds, that was a mistake. I apologise. Forgetting Cozier Dewberry. I'm not forgetting Cozier Dewberry. I just think Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri are closer to the level of playing for the first team at the moment. That's all. I think Cozier Dewberry just has a bit more development. He's a bit too one-footed for me at the moment. He is very much like like Saka was at first. Saka was just lucky enough that our team was so bad at the time that he had a lot of growth to do, but was still good enough to be in the team. I always get fourth, just like Arsenal under Wenger. Hey, look, consistency. Look, consistent top 4 is not as bad as people make it out to be. I would like to see Cozier, though. Oh, so would I. Who's that guy that plays exactly like Saka? That is Mario Cozier Dewberry. Honest thoughts on Kudus to West Ham. Very good signing. Do you know what? I tweeted it last night. I mocked them at the time, but genuinely, I think West Ham have spent the Declan Rice money quite well. I think James Ward-Prowse, really good signing. Kudus, obviously, you know how much I wanted Kudus. I think that's a great signing for them. What's his name? Alvarez in the midfield as well. Solid signing. And then what's his name at centre-back as well. So, no, overall, I do think that they have had a good window in the end. Predictions for Fulham game before we leave and starting lineup. All right, last thing. Fulham prediction 4-1. 4-1. It's at home against a team that isn't great, so we will concede. But 4-1. Starting lineup. Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Havertz, Ødegaard, Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli. I think Partey might have a rest. Salah to Saudi, Orni, Bomber, likely. Yeah, crazy. Look, crazy. If Salah goes to Saudi, and I also I saw a little thing from a guy called Alex Goldberg, who I don't know how in the loop he is, but I think he is a bit in the loop at Chelsea, talking about Darwin Núñez to Chelsea. Now, I can't see them losing Salah and Núñez this close before the end of the window, but that would be bonkers. Anyway, I've got to go. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. I will be back at 5 tomorrow as always. I will be live in half an hour on the Football Terrace for the Top 6 show if you want to watch that. But until then, thank you very much. Please subscribe, drop a like. Have a great evening, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye.